रस्म उशाक यही है कि रस्म उशाक यही है कि वफा करते हैं, यानी हर हाल में हक अपना अदा करते हैं।
We have a problem, humanity, you and me, and the problem is that we are becoming too materialistic, we are becoming too selfish, we are becoming too concerned with the superficial side of things. And the thing is that it doesn't even bring us happiness for the long term. It doesn't bring us fulfillment. We never feel like we have enough. And I don't know about you, but it makes me think like numerous times in my life, like why is it that the more you have, the more you want? And it's never going to be quenched. You always feel like, sometimes you tend to feel like you're the center of the universe and that everything should happen the way you want them to. That's why we get depressed. And when I talk about I talk about myself first of all, because I am very much in tune with my emotions. I am kind of a very sensitive and aware person. I believe like everything that happens in my life, whether good or bad, it makes me think and reflect, because I have had a very kind of rich journey in terms of growth and enlightenment and all of that. And it's true that I have suffered a lot, but I have learned a lot, and I have also come to my own conclusions. So I believe that in life there are so many things which are important. First of all, as human beings, in order to survive, like we are talking about surviving, like not dying. So we need food, we need oxygen, we need clothes and shelter. We can't survive without that. So even if you might be very spiritual, very good person, but you will die if you don't have these at your disposal. So no one can deny that these are our needs to survive. But now, in order to be happy, one of the most important things that I have noticed about myself, like I think to feel happy, you need to feel fulfilled, you need to feel meaningful, you need to feel important, you need to feel useful, you need to have a direction and a purpose, which I think most of us are lacking today. And the moment you feel like there is no purpose, this is one of the most depressing things in life. I believe that this is one of the reasons why many people end up committing suicide, or they just feel like, like it doesn't make any sense. The suffering doesn't make any sense. And actually, like, I don't know what is happening with this veil. So yeah, many times we feel like, life should be like a perfect magazine, like everything needs to be sorted and you have to have whatever your friend has, and you can't digest that, you can't have everything. And when you don't have everything, when you're disappointed, when there are failures, there are setbacks, there are unhappy situations in your life, you blame God, and then you lose your faith. And the moment you lose your faith, I think you lose everything. You start to lose meaning. You start to feel like, you don't really matter. And like there is no use to all of that. What's the use of suffering? Like God doesn't love you. There is no God, etc. And it's a very dangerous cycle. I believe that nothing can really save you from that darkness, except if you do persevere in your prayer and you trust God. Why is it so difficult to trust God? Like we trust people, we trust celebrities, we trust companies, we trust like social media so much. We allow technology to dictate our moods, our activities, our life. But when it comes to trusting God, we have a hard time. We have an issue. We feel like we are too intelligent probably for religion or for God. and we feel like we know it all, like science is already enough and we don't need any more answers because these are things of the ancient. But I also used to think that way, but there are so many answers that I have never been able to obtain in any other way except by praying, except by persevering, by asking, by becoming close to God. And this is not something that will happen overnight. Many people think that it's a magical pill. Many people, I'm sure you know, like the people who are not spiritual and the people who are very spiritual, the people who are not spiritual, they will be complaining like, you know, they don't see any difference whether they pray or not. Like for them, like it's already too late, or that there is no use praying, or that God doesn't love them. But they make a big mistake. The difference with the people who believe, who have a strong faith, these people are consistent, like in everything that you do in life, whether it is exercising, dieting, education, learning, whatever it is, you have to be consistent with it. So just for spirituality is something that you need to work on. So like, let's say that I don't pray for a day, I don't pray for a week, I don't pray for a month. Of course it will be like, I will be getting used to it. I will not be feeling like, it will be hard for me if I decide to pray all of a sudden one day. Maybe I will like it, or maybe I will find it strange because I'm not used to it. And of course I will be feeling very far from Allah. So which brings me back to the beautiful reminder that, you know, when Allah loves you, He will create a situation in your life where you will be forced to turn to Him. So this is not something that is in our imagination. It is something that is totally true, because it has happened over and over again so many times. Not just in my life, there are many people who testify, who, if you watch their stories, they will tell you like what kind of lives they were living. They were doing drugs, they were doing so many evil, haram, and healthy things that were just bringing them to their destruction. But then Allah decides to give them a wake-up call, or a situation that has that power to change their lives. And now when you look at them, they are so religious, they look like they have been cleaned and cleansed, like these demons have been taken out from them, and they are so peaceful, they are at peace, they are happy. Like these people look so happy, they look like excited because they feel light. You can see that, and it is very enjoyable, very envious. You kind of get envious when you look at that. If you are a person who feels like, you know, you are already doomed, like you have nothing to do with Allah, Allah does not love you, and you are already like, this is not for you, but you are very wrong. That's precisely where you are wrong. Like that's the beauty of Islam. And I can tell you that you can do whatever you want, you can try any philosophy, you can just try to live your life, like have fun and not think about God, and just not be religious and do your own thing. But you will feel hungry for something. There will always be a huge incomplete hole in your life. Just trust me. Like you will never feel like, you know, you will not get that contentment in your heart. Like you might be possessing millions of rupees, a large house, a lot of fancy cars, all kinds of beautiful outfits, jewelry, bags, shoes, possessions, and the latest technology. You might have a lot of friends, you might have success, but you will still feel like, you know, something is quite not right. Something is not like especially when you think about death, like where does it fit in the grand scheme of things? Like I am going to die, I'm not going to take any of these things that I have spent my life accumulating, chasing. So what's actually the purpose of it? Like if I have to leave one day, then I'm not going to take all of this, then there must be something deeper than that I am missing. And it's true that we get very easily lost by chasing things. Chasing things is not a bad thing at all. I am guilty of that. Like I am very restless, very hyperactive. I'm never able to sit still. I'm always kind of obsessed with learning, progressing, and I also have concerns about money, because of course I think most of us, money is important, and all the things that we want to achieve, most of them are possible only thanks to money. That's just an objective fact. So we are not denying that. We should live in a worldly life, material life, like we are part of it, and of course we don't have to run away. But sometimes you get so caught up in chasing more, in being obsessed with more progress, more education, more goals, more like always being in that kind of obsession with productivity, obsession with all things which pertain to the worldly life. So the spiritual life gets neglected and we suffer because we are attaching so much to that. We are placing so much importance and attention and energy on those worldly goals. So when they are not met, we are frustrated. Of course, we will be unhappy. And yeah, I always believe that there needs to be a balance between the spiritual and the worldly, and the spiritual is very important. I am so amazed when I look at people around me people who don't like, they don't have a spirit, as if they don't have a soul, they don't have any intellect. It's just about like the body, feeding the body, and just grooming the external appearance and being constantly focused about this world and this world. But you will never be happy like that. That's why there are some people who are so like, they feel things deeply and they know that something is wrong and they have to let go. You have to let go of these worldly concerns. Sometimes they are consuming such a big part of you, and then you start to feel sick. You are not able to enjoy your life. You're destroying your health. You have to take medication, and you feel like you're not really being able to enjoy even the little things that God has given you. So this is a big curse. It's a big problem, and we should try to avoid making that happen. Of course, there are solutions. There are solutions to each and every problem if we do whatever we are supposed to do, and we are born to do that. So it's not a question of like, one last thing that I would like to add, like many people think that they pray because they are forced to pray, they have to do it, it's a chore, it's a kind of homework, and it's not something that they enjoy. But believe me, like, prayer is not just for God. Prayer is mostly for you. It's actually a gift for you. Like, God has been so great, so merciful, that He gave you the gift of praying. If you do not have this gift of praying, you will be totally lost, and Shaitan would be very easily, like, he would choose you as a victim, as is happening nowadays. Like, you see most people who abandon their prayer, like, you can really see what I'm trying to say. Like, their lives is, they are very, very lost. They are so lost, far away, that you won't be able to bring them back to the right path. So be thankful that at least you still have that, and even if the world is crumbling around you, you will have a certain satisfaction, and your heart is at peace, knowing that even if something happens to you, even if Allah decides to take your soul and you die, then at least you have prayed, so you are happy. You are even ready to face death with a smile on your face, knowing that you have done all that you were supposed to do. There is no question of any sadness at all.